So I needed to take a quick sacred picture.
Oh, it already started.
That's good. Can I start?
Yeah, it's
Okay. Sorry now.
Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kangsha Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnan Bande Jagadguru. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We salute Sri Krishna, who is the son of Vasudeva, who is the destroyer of the demon of Kamsa and Chanura, and bestower of knowledge and bliss to the whole universe. We salute him again and again. Om peace, peace, peace. So now we were in the Narada Bhakti Sutra, Narada's way of divine love. Every love is love, but this is called the divine love. Because every love in the world has its pangs of separation. Every worldly love has some bitterness sometimes. Every love, worldly love, comes and stays for few seconds, few minutes, then runs away. That this is called the divine love, which is perpetual. And that love itself is the testimony of this path of devotion. So it is doubly important that this love is the goal, at the same time that is the journey. End and means, both are the love. You follow, you love God, and you move towards God, and you reach God at the end. Love is the beginning of your journey, and when you move in this path, it is all joy, and at the end, you are that joy again. But it may be said that the journey is not always joy. You see the devotees, they're crying and weeping. Where is joy? Yes, there is joy. When you think of God, your heart swells in joy. The external tears come out, but the internal heart is saturated with that bliss. That's why Bhakti path is a journey, and this journey begins with joy. Though the apparent pangs of separation and suffering we see in the lives of the saints and mystics, but they feel internal connection with God so deeply and forgets the outside world so seriously that makes them saturated in joy at the end. So the joy beginning, joy end. And you have already read the very first verse which talked about bhakti, where he said, every study needs some competence. Student of bhakti, jnana, you must have to have apatato dhigato akilo vedartho asmin janmani janmantareva kammo nishiddha varjana purasharam. You have read now. You are all silent. You know them. Tell me. In your Vedanta Sara, you have read all these things. You have read. So it says that you should have to be so free. Study the whole scriptures. Vedas, Veda, 6 systems of philosophy, Vedangas, history, literary, Itihasa, Purana, epics, all these you have to learn. Know the essential meaning of the scriptures. Go to a guru, Viveka, no to discrimination. Samadama, you have to collect all these good qualities. And then viveka, discrimination, and analysis, and then give up what is temporary, accept that, and start for liberation. Then you come to a teacher. Then I'll tell you the knowledge, what is knowledge. But in bhakti, you love God. That's the qualification. You are not much interested in the world. Simple. That's the
Can you
criteria.
love someone who you don't know?
That's why. But if you love God, people love God. They don't see God though. They love God. Many people imagine, no? In realistic life, what happens? When the youthful imagination, I have a wife like this, I have a husband like that, and imagine. Don't they love that imagination? They become mad for that craziness. So yes, love for God comes when heart is purified a little bit. Otherwise, love for God will not come. Even for bhakti will not generate in the heart. Unless one is little purity in the heart and understand the falsity of the world and tired. You see, most young people, when they get into love and that frustration comes, then become renunciate. Is it not? I'm saying that not that they become a monk and nun, but that detachment comes. Oh, this is called relationship. My God, she cheated me or he cheated me and this and that. That you loved. What it matters, cheating or non-cheating. You love. Whatever if you love, love. Why you get affected? Yeah, that is experience. And that gets detachment. Unless they have some experience, they cannot come to God. They will search for another. Try to be satisfied there itself. Anyhow, so we have.
Sometimes when we are born with the love of God. I remember as a child, I was growing up in an Orthodox Jewish family. I had a tremendous feeling of love for God.
Yeah. So that means we come with our karma, good karmas of the past life.
Yeah.
Some have to do it
But
now.
after the Holocaust, I lost much of it. And then I started searching all over again.
Yeah, that's why the search is there itself, but when situation comes, it aggravates, it intensifies, it makes total feeling of disgust for the world. All this comes. So what is negative sometimes turns to be a positive thing for a spiritual seeker.
This corona time can inspire us to be more.
Yeah, many people are turning inward. Many people are becoming thoughtful, seeing the situation. Just suppose whose family just suddenly got the attack and suddenly they lose and they do not know where their body is gone after that. No, they took away that body and then done. That's an end of their life. No, so serious question comes in life, but need not have to be that bitter experience of life. But this is the way the world goes on. But anyhow, so our love for God is the criterion here. Therefore, now we are going, the first verse we have described, Atha, therefore, Bhaktim, the religion of love or divine love, Bhakkhasam, I will describe you. That was the first verse. Let us go to the second verse. Today we start. What is that verse? Now, Bhakti Bhakkhasam, I will talk about Bhakti. Then Narada says, okay, what is that Bhakti? What is that love I am going to talk about? I am going to talk about Sa. Sa means this love, this devotion. Sa, Bhakti. Sa is the standing for devotion. That devotion. Why devotion is called She? She means motherly, soft, soothing, affectionate. There is no pungent thing in love, real love. So it is called sweet. That's why it's called Sa. It's not a man. Why it is called woman? Not that all men are rough. But compared to men and women are a little softer, motherly. So that's why it is said Sa. It is feminine gender. Sa or that means
What
that.
speech are we on, Swami?
Page 13.
13.
Yeah. Sa, that bhakti, that means sa means bhakti. Tu is but. What is that? Parama means supreme. Prema, rupa, of the form of prema. That is, that devotion is not ordinary love, not ordinary attraction, but parama prema, the highest degree. Attraction, highest degree. Like Ramakrishna said, the magnet attracts a needle when it is clean needle. Magnet mountain, Ramakrishna talks about. Suppose a magnet mountain is there and the ship is passing by. Suddenly it will find that the sudden attraction, the whole ship is being pulled into it. And the nuts and bolts get scattered. The life becomes all the attraction of the Titan into the world, all the nuts and bolts of life on this side, boom, gets away. And Ramakrishna is the example. That when the love for God comes in someone's life, what will happen? All the nuts and bolts which connect us with this mundane material world, with money, wealth, name, fame, power, position, all this beauty, glory out, my ability, all this loosen. Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya fell into that love, and what happened? See, he was a great scholar. What a great scholar. In the 6 systems of Nyaya, and he was the establisher of, not an established, but she was a propounder of a big, great scholar on neo-logic, Nabya Nyaya. Very critical logic. And he will find any scholar coming and call him and make him surrender unto him. Such a scholar will shred his arguments to zero. Such a person suddenly fall in love with God. And that person become tears rolling down. Anyone coming, I do not know anything. Please be kind to me. I am humble. I have no devotion. Give me love. I will chant the name of the Lord, etc., etc. What he chant. That is the Shikshastakam. These 8 verses on the teachings of Sri Chaitanya. So Bhakti, the second verse we are reading today, is called Sa. Again, remember this very word. You cannot find in your book this Sanskrit word. So I am talking about that. You have no pen to note down. Okay. Sa means that. What is Sa?
She.
She. What is she?
Bhakti.
Bhakti. That devotion, that bhakti is tasmin, in that. Why is saying in that? He said in Krishna. Uniqueness of Narada's teaching, it is so universal. If this has written that is only Krishna, and without Krishna you are not going to get in that supreme love, then it will be a fanatic religion. But the uniqueness of this is that it is tasmin, in that. Tasmin means this, in this, asmin, too, but asmin, in this. In this means in this ideal, your Krishna, your Rama, whatever you think, matters little. He is not specifically saying that it is a neuter gender. Why neuter gender? It's not a male gender, it's not a female gender. It's not saying it is only Krishna. It is not saying, oh, it is only Rama. It is not saying it is Ma Kali. It is not saying it is Jesus. It is not saying it is Buddha. You decide whatever the representative of God. The universality of Narada's teaching. Very important point, this word asmin, in this. In is the bhakti is the intense love, for God. You will find that, you see, the first line you see, that this does not mean what? Narada does not use the word God. But the translation, the Swami has made it, bhakti is intense love for God. But not, Sanskrit does not say it is God. If you say God, then not the goddess. No? If you say God, it is saguna or nirguna. God means saguna, not nirguna. See the fallacies. That after explaining, he has explained here. You read the first paragraph, then you will find what he means. So let me finish first the meaning of the verse. Very important. This is called sutra. Your reading is not an ordinary book. If you keep a note and know first verse is this, second verse is this. If you know, you need not have to remember so much explanation. You can clarify in your mind. Remember only sa, 3 words. Sa, 2, osmin, 4 words. Parama prema rupa. Parama, supreme. Rupa is the form. Prema is the love. That is the form of supreme love. This is the source. Now you can ruminate and explain
Rupa, what is Rupa?
Rupa means form. Nama, Rupa, you are always listening.
Nama.
Nama and Rupa. Nama is name, Rupa is form.
Oh, yeah.
Now, so this is the point, very important. Now we got clear. Now, in this verse, he's going to say that talking of love, not ordinary love, that's supreme love. And Narada's goal is to describe that bhakti which leads us to the supreme, pure, unending, absolute joy, which is Vedanta called Brahman. You call Atman, Satchidananda. So you see what he says. Now let us go to read out on page 13, aphorism number 2. So the Swami has explained here, this Swami Prabhupada explained here, that what is bhakti? Bhakti is intense love for God. But as I said, it is not God. It should not be the right translation. But he explains why he has used the word God. Narada does not use the word God. Very first line of explanation. But the indefinite neuter pronoun this. And in translating the aphorism into English, I have altered it because intense love for this would not convey the intended meaning. That means to the West. To eat. If you say love for it, love for this, those who are not familiar with the thoughts of divine love, they will not make any sense. Love it. What is that it? It stands for what? So that's why he has used the word God, which we are familiar with. People can connect. Now he explains. It is interesting to consider that Narada used the pronoun this instead of God, or Brahman, or Atman, or Rama, or Krishna, or some other divine name. See the beauty, the Catholicity of Narada's thinking. That's why you cannot, those who are realized soul, no? Ramakrishna said, they don't make a false step. They dance, but their steps are always in the rhythm. Boom, 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 boom. So you will not find contradiction in Christ's word with Ramakrishna's words. In essential teaching, it will be same. So he says it is not Brahman or Atman. You can say this meaning. This may be in substituting the word God or Brahman or Atman or Rama or Krishna or some other divine name. One reason is this: he wished his teaching to be completely non-sectarian, but we have made sectarian. Suppose we are reading this Vedanta book. If you would just read a translation from Bhakti school of thought, no, they will say, hey, it is Krishna. Without Krishna, Narada was a devotee of Krishna. So he's sticking with this means Krishna only. And if you don't love Krishna, you are going to where we do not know. Christians will say, if you don't go follow the path of Christ, then you are going to hell. Allah people will say, if you follow Allah, then it is okay. Otherwise, you are going to dujak. the hell, Narak, and you will be punished. But this is the Catholic. He didn't say like that. He said, all are God, only different approach. You select whatever you like. One reason is that he wished his teaching to be completely non-sectarian. The use of the pronoun this, thus, contrast to that, suggests that the reality, no matter by what name it may be called, is nearer than the nearest, the inmost self of our being, and is to be found within the sanctuary of our own hearts and in the hearts of all beings. Huh? So this is the meaning of the word neuter gender using this. You may be light. You may be infinite consciousness.
It may be the ideology.
It may be
Ideology.
the idea. So it may be an idea of infinity. It may be saguna, it may be nirguna, it may be sakara, it may be nirakara. It may be in the saguna, Rama, it may be in the nirguna, it may be absolute. Krishna, Rama, whatever, even a stone, Lord Shiva. People are worshipping a stone. They are not saying, oh stone. They are saying, oh Shiva. So this love for Shiva, they are Shiva devotees. You go to the South Indian Tamil literature, you'll find infinite number of saints in the Tamil saints. They're all talking about Shiva, love for Shiva, crying in the visitation of Shiva. There, the love is the same love. Love is the same, connecting. Ramakrishna cried for Ma Kali. Then he tested it again, Rama, Krishna, and go on this. And that's the uniqueness. He has proved that this means universally. Whatever you love is the criterion. As already stated, God, the ultimate reality, is to be experienced with the opening of divine sight. Narada avoids defining God anywhere in this treatise, because if you define God in that way, is to limit God. Furthermore, when a man experiences God, he is unable to express two ways. First of all, he didn't try to express it, giving a definite definition, but only say tremendous love, supreme love for this. He has defined only that much. That means in Catholicity. Also, reasonably, if you say this, anything you say God is this, then you are limiting. That's why in the Puspadanta, in the Shiva Mahimna, that description is given. The glory of Shiva. Oh Lord Shiva, you are so great. Your glory cannot be expressed. If Mother Saraswati herself starts writing your glory, and what is the page? Not this small page, 8 inches by 6 inches, but the whole flat surface of the earth becomes the page only, paper. And he takes a pen which does not wither away. And his ink may dry out after one pen goes away after some time, no? So his pen will never dry up. So the ocean is the container of ink, and Himalaya is a tablet. You melt into the ocean, and that becomes the ink. And Mother Saraswati starts writing the glory. How many days? Not 1 month, 1 day. His whole life and continues, her own life and continues. Likhati Jodi Sharada Gritva Sarvakalam. All time. If Mother goes on, Mother Saraswati herself, the mother of wisdom, no? If she starts writing, Tadapi Tabo Mahima, Nan Parang Najate. Therefore, they cannot, Mother cannot, she cannot complete the write the glory what you are. That means two reasons. Here Swami Prabhupada has given. Because first of all, it is if you do that by way that you have described, this is called God. It cannot be, because then it is a limitation. Limitation in language, limitation in experience. How infinite can be expressed in a limitation. Second point, it is not to be experienced because it is beyond mind, beyond speech. So if it is beyond mind, how will you express to the mind?
Vyasa asks for forgiveness from Krishna
Right,
because he
right.
wanted to show that he
Right. When a man experiences God, he is unable to express him in terms of relative experience. To quote the words of Ramakrishna, what he says, it is Ramakrishna now saying from the Gospel. When one attains Samadhi, then one alone comes the knowledge of Brahman. When one attains Samadhi, then alone comes the knowledge of Brahman. In that realization, all thought cease. One becomes perfectly silent. There is no power of speech left by which to express Brahman. On page 30. But again, we find that the great sages and seers have tried to express the truth of God in varied ways. Some say he is personal God. Rama, you say Shiva, Durga, Kali, all mythical gods, or you can say Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, all these, or incarnations, Rama, Krishna, Buddha. So he says, some say he is with the form, and some say God is without form. Some say he is endowed with divine attributes, others say he is attributeless. So these are different ideas. This book also has uniquely expressed the idea. He says that the bhakti is firm, love is the opinion of authorities. Okay, if I go deep, it will take a long time. See, then I cannot. If I go into this, then your 2 hours will go for 5 months. So no, not better not to go. You will be tired. So it says, Sri Ramakrishna. So you see, so about God, or about God, so many ideas. Some say it is form, some say without form. Some say in the form, this is God. Some say, no, that is not God. My God is only God. So this is the only God. So there are different opinions about the ultimate truth. Sri Ramakrishna, in the light of his own mystic experience, resolved in his simple way all such contradictions. And he said what he said, quote, he said, infinite is God, and infinite are the expressions. He who lives continuously in the consciousness of God and in this alone knows him in his true being. He knows him as impersonal, no less than as personal. So they know him as impersonal. They don't fight. They go to love God in a person. Vedanta is, people say they are dry people. No, they are also devotee. They are a devotee of the impersonal aspect of God. And there are bhaktas, Rama Bhakta, Shiva Bhakta. They are bhakta. They are also lover. They also love. Without love, how can you go for Vedanta? I am Atman. Why you will spend your day? I am Atman, I am Atman. I am the witness consciousness. What craziness? Why will you do if you don't love that idea? You are talking about the idea. That means God is an idea to us. Even the form, that's not an idea. I have not seen. I am only listening the words of somebody, some other sense, and think that yes, he is there and I can call. That's why Ramakrishna used to say, Ma, you have given your darshan to so many saints. I am your innocent child. Why not show me your form? So she has not seen. That's why he's saying, show me your form. But it is not a myth because you have given that darshan to others. So Ramakrishna continues, Brahman, absolute existence, knowledge and bliss may be compared to an ocean without beginning or end. As through intense cold, some portions of the water of the ocean freeze into ice and the formless water appears to have form, so to the intense love of the devotee, the formless, infinite existence manifests itself or himself before this him as having form and personality. But form and aspects disappear before the man who reaches the highest samadhi, who attains the height of non-dualistic philosophy of Vedanta. He continues, Ramakrishna continues, so long as there is still a little ego left, the consciousness that I am a devotee, God is comprehended as personal. Jotodur, as far as Swami Vivekananda says, as far you go on in your higher flights of experience, you have a little trace of ego. Jotodur jao, as far as you go. Buddhi rathe kori arohan, riding on your intellect. I analyze, I know Brahman. As far as you go, it is this duality you are living. So only when ego will die, then you will be merging into the absolute non-duality. So God is comprehended as personal, and his form is realized. This consciousness of a separate ego, that is a barrier that keeps one at a distance from the highest realization. The forms of Kali or Krishna are represented as a dark blue color. Why? These are all Ramakrishna saying. Because the devotee has not yet approached them. At a distance, the water of a lake appears blue. But when you come nearer, you find it is no color. In the same way, to him who attains the highest truth and experience, Brahman is absolute and impersonal. His real nature cannot be defined in words. So don't try to define God. And when you try that, you make a mistake. You confuse the idea. He can be infinite in the infinite form. So long you have ego, he is finite. Your mind is infinite. That's why God is finite. Your mind merges, then it goes. Even Bhakto, they say Mirabai, crying and weeping, and when getting totally intoxicated, that ego is totally lost. And then when you merge into that intoxicated state, then what remains? Only that truth remains. Sufi mystics, they talk about love, my beloved. Love her and the beloved. And they say, Swamiji said that Rumi's poem is there, no? That she's staying inside and beloved has come. Is knocking at the door. Who are you? Who? I'm such and such. The door didn't open. They said, who? They said, I. The door does not open. Then again, stroke. Who? I am you. I am thou. And the door opened. That means the uniqueness of this ego getting crushed. That is the goal of spirituality. So long ego remains, we have to live in the duality. And the duality means saguna, sakara. And that experience leads you to sabikalpa samadhi. There is samadhi, but that is called sabikalpa. Now quote ends here. Now the writer says, the various ideals of God which develop worship according to the spiritual tendency or inclination may be the personal God with attributes. Personal God. We worship Mother Saraswati, the giver of wisdom and learning. And we describe her. In one hand, she is holding what? Veena, the musical instrument. Pustaka, in another, books in her hand. Veena, Pustaka, and maybe lotus and another what. Anyhow. So that is the description, and she is the giver of wisdom. Mother Lakshmi, another description. So these are according to the spiritual tendency of one person. One will choose whom, how to worship. Or under these aspects of Vishnu, Shiva, Kali, Jehovah, Allah, and so forth. Even you are thinking of Allah through your mind. It's a thought. So long you are in thought, your ego is there. It is one type of duality. Though you think it is not duality in an image is too dual, but I think of infinite. No, you don't think. You think of duality also, because you cannot comprehend what is that unless your ego dissolves. So he says, such as again, or incarnations, you can think as Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Christ, Ramakrishna. Narada defines bhakti as, next point, as intense love. First of all, this is explained, sa, that bhakti, female, tu, asmin, this is the explanation of this. This means God. And what God? Saguna, Nirguna, Sakara, Akara, everything. According to your tendency. And that tendency, so long ego remains, then you are Saguna, Sakara. And when it go beyond, it's Nira, Nirakara, Nirguna. Now, Narada defines the bhakti as intense love for God. This intense love that the sage speaks of refers to the love that arises in the heart of a devotee who has the vision of God. And that love is so rare. And Ramakrishna said, what he said, if today, this morning we read, no? If the three kinds of attraction, Ramakrishna's view, can join together, and that intensity comes, then it's called love for God. No? What? A man loves his chaste wife, that intense love. Mother loves the child, that love. And a very worldly person loves his money and wealth and prosperity. These three attractions put together for God. Then you realize God. That is called the intensity of love. So how much it should be. That's why when he becomes intoxicated with the divine love, no, this intense love that the sages speaks of refers to the love that arises in the heart of a devotee who has the vision of God. That cannot come unless you have this, as we say, you have to see something, experience something. If you have some little experience, then your attraction is deeper. When he has become intoxicated in the divine love, that such love is the same as experiencing God consciousness is evident also from Narada's description of the nature of this love in the aphorism which follows. So it says that type of love is the love, real love. One day, while Swami Vivekananda was holding a class for a few intimate disciples in Thousand Island Park, he took up the study of Narada's Bhakti Sutras. As Swamiji translated the particular aphorism, he commented upon this, quoting by the following words of his master Ramakrishna. Quote, it is Swami Vivekananda talking, quoting Ramakrishna. This world is a huge lunatic asylum. Why? Where all men are mad. Men means women also. Don't think that women are special. Men and women all are mad here. Some after mad for money. See? They will earn money, go to destroy the peace of others, steal money, steal the treasury, cheat, lie, kill. Money, I love money. So money. Some after women or men. Some after name and fame. And a pure after God. No? God is a philosopher's stone that turns us to gold in an instant. The form remains, but the nature is changed. Form means love remains, but the love's form is changed. One is for sense gratification, another is for union with the divine. When it comes to the senses, every joy becomes limited. Because the senses are limited. That's why it is temporary. It does not stay. If you have a good food, good cake, good biscuit, homemade,
Good mother.
and you touch your tongue, it's good. How long? By that time, say it's good, it's gone down. It'll become a memory. But that love will never fail you. Once you get it, you are there. So, Swamiji says, the form remains, love remains. Only its nature is changed. It is going to the mundane, and that is going to the eternal. The human form remains, but no more can we do harm or commit any sin. The holy people, they cannot do harm to anyone. Because Then all negativity is gone. Love. He has tuned to love. The love is manifesting through his very personality. Christ's, Buddhas, Ramas, Krishnas, Ramakrishnas. These are the examples. Thinking of God, some weep, some sing, some dance, some say wonderful things, but all speak of nothing but God. This is Swami Vivekananda talking about the verse. He also explained, he was reading the Gospel Narada's Bhakti Sutra. This book is very famous. So Swamiji in the Thousand Island Park sometimes referred one day this, one day that. So that day when he was explaining, it is his statement from the Inspired Talks. And now Swami Prabhupada says, my master, Swami Brahmananda once told me, our love is so deep that we do not let you know how much we love you. He used to say, if I love you and you know, what type of love is that? It's very superficial love. We don't understand that. Here we understand love means you have to thank you. Ha ha ha, you are so good. Ha ha ha, you have done good. Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda, their love, they get good scolding. But their love is so perennial. And they say, they don't express their love outward. It's so deep. That's why Maharaj says, Swami Prabhupada own experience, he said, it's a very beautiful word. Our love is so deep that we don't let you know how much we love you. Indeed, this is the same kind of deep love that God has for us, for all beings. And in order that we may feel that love of His going into ecstasy, we need to practice spiritual disciplines. To know, again quote, to know the love of Christ, which passeth knowledge, that ye might be filled with all the fullness of God. That means you have to love Christ, while saying it is epiphanic or something like that, from that quoting from there. To know the love of Christ, which passeth knowledge. It is not intellectual knowledge. You need to have that love. Intellectual can go up to certain limit. Ramakrishna said, intellect can take you to the outer courtyard of the house. Bhakti can take you the inside of the house. That means, if suppose this is the inner house and that's outside, so one can come up to the door. Knowledge can come up to the door and hit. Unless you have developed this love for the intense love for Satchidananda God, you cannot get. And bhakti is not only thing that loving only saguna. The bhakti is loving the nirguna also. Shankaracharya defined that bhakti is loving the absolute, Satchidananda. I am forgetting that exact quote now. Here also beautiful word, that to know the love of Christ, how much Christ loves us, that is that love which passeth all knowledge, all your intellect, that you may be filled with all fullness in God. That is the real love. Bhakti, two types. One is called Gauni Bhakti, refers to the path of devotion, the ways and means which lead to the experience of Parabhakti. That means one is ritualistic bhakti, as we do. You pluck flower, make sandal paste, clean the altar, offer flower with mantra, decorate it like that, offer food and this and that. These are all in the realm of the Gauni, secondary.
Doing Ekadashi is which category?
Oh, your Gauni. These are all fasting. Today I am fasting, tomorrow I am fasting. All Gauni. But when it will happen, you are intoxicated in God, you forget your food for days. Ramakrishna used to spend time like that. So intoxicated, he has no idea when day came and day went. No, that is your Gauni reaching the Para, Supreme. And we are talking about the Para Bhakti, Supreme Bhakti. But steps to going, that's okay. But to know intense love for God. Narada, in some of the latter aphorisms, explains the path of devotion, the ways and means, the particular devotional exercises which it is to be practiced. These are called the Gauni. Remember, two Sanskrit words. Gauni and para. Gauni means secondary or preliminary step to reach the higher bhakti. Two types of bhakti. One gets intoxicated, and as you read gospel, Ramakrishna is singing, dancing, and the whole congregation is going lifted into the trance. So that is, you're starting with the bhajan, with the khol and dancing, started there. It's a gauni. But when it reaches the climax and you fall in love with the absolute, then it's called the para, or supreme. As we follow the spiritual disciplines, first there comes the real conviction. As you follow, what will happen? First, we are hearing only God is there. You will get a little glimpse of that love. Then you will feel, oh, God is there. You will be convinced inside. So doubts will be lessened. Not that you are fully free, but a glimpse you will get. So he says, first there come the real conviction that God is. In other words, his presence is tangibly felt. We do not have his vision as yet, but a sweetness, a joy, a thrill is felt within, and we become convinced that he knows our innermost thoughts. That's the first point. You will feel, your body will be thrilled with joy, at least not all the time, a little glimpse of that. One day you are meditating, one day you are praying with intensity, some tears comes down, and you feel that relief, so much grace. Then you know, you are convinced there is something. And out of nothing, I am getting so much joy. And that joy sustains. It continues. And you feel that, oh, there is truth in it. No? So no one needs to tell you, hey, God is there. You know yourself, at least a little hint of it. And we become convinced that he knows and then you surrender. You know that he is there and he can help you. Next, as we continue in our practice of the presence of God, the vision opens up. Through this, his grace, not for you doing Hajar Japa, not that for doing 20 Ekadasis. I'm fasting. Not for that. By his grace, his compassion. Yes, you are fasting, and it is to draw attention. No? These people make a peace march. Why? To draw the attention of the government. That we are here, we don't like it, please. And you are fasting before somebody. Please give me this. And you are fasting. He feels compassionate. Oh my God, he's fasting for 1 day, 2 days, 2 Ekadasis, 3 Ekadasis, fasting for me. If it is for him, then he will open. Otherwise, fasting for going to heaven, well, okay, let him do. But if you love him and you think that, oh my God, he's fasting for me, so he comes forward. So that is the idea.
Is it on, if you ask materialistic something, you will get it quicker. And you will get
it. That is true. That is true. But that also is because are sincere. How many? That's why Thakur said, anything you can pray. If you are sincere, it will happen. Even material, even spiritual. If you are sincerely, one-pointedly ask for. But why shall you ask for a penny if you can get million? That's the question. What fool is there in the world like Dhruva? Dhruva was for a penny. He wanted to be the king because he was his brother, their family. He was just abandoned with his mother in the forest. And when he got the vision of Narayana, then what he said? What do you want? I don't want anything. We read yesterday or today, I forgot. This morning. Why he said, I don't want anything? Well, why? I got you. I got the jewel. What shall I do with a fake stone, which resembles like a pearl? No? So that happens spontaneously. So that is sincere prayer, even whatever way. So we continue in our practice of the presence of God. The vision then opens up through his grace. As we read in the Kathopanishad, to quotation, to the man who has felt him as truly existing, he reveals his inmost nature. If you think, Asti iti eva upalabdasya tattva bhava prasidati, this is a Kathopanishad verse. That means one who feels that that it is the man who has felt his true existence. God is, God is, God is there, no? Everywhere he is, and that is God, that is God, that is God. Huh? If one gets convinced insanely, then what will happen? Reveals, then Lord himself opens up its real nature in inmost recess. Simultaneously, quote ends, simultaneously his love becomes known to a certain extent, and we realize him as our own one and only beloved. Then you don't love anything more. That God becomes your only beloved. All beloved becomes worthless. They are like asses. But intense love, according to Narada, is more than having a vision of God in ecstasy. Intense love is beyond that. It is not that intense. Intense love is the connecting point. You get connected. But intense love gives you joy. But still, you have to go forward. Intense love is much higher than that. Before, however, I try to explain what is meant by this intense love, let me point out that a bhakta following the path of devotion begins by worshipping God as personal being. Before that, we all do as personal being. What personal being? Like Vishnu, Shiva, Kali, and so forth. Perhaps the Western devotees, it will be easier to understand they worship an avatar or divine incarnation like Christ, Buddha, Rama, Krishna. Of course, according to Vedantic tradition, there is not only one avatar. The one God incarnates himself in different ages under different forms and names. That's right. Swami Vivekananda explained that divine incarnations come again and again. They have to be worshipped in and meditated upon. And Swami Vivekananda said what? God is both the subject and the object. He is the I capital and you the small. How is this? How to know the knower? The knower cannot know himself. I see everything, but I cannot see myself. The Atman cannot see myself, no? You cannot see your eyes. You need something to reflect upon. So, to see God, there is a reflecting media. So long you are reflecting, you are seeing something, you have not reached the highest. So, Swamiji continued that way. If a man who wants, at the bottom of page 17, if a man who wants to see his face looks in a little pool of muddy water, he will see only an outline. If he comes to a pool of clear water, he will see the better image. No? That's why we love all the world. No? It's a reflection of the Atman in a muddy water. And I love that. I don't love the original. I love the muddy reflection. That's why all the love, worldly love, becomes so muddy, so cluttered. Because they are not going to the original, they are going to the reflected through the mind, and the mind is muddy. And in that mind, that reflection comes. But only Tara, the reflection of Brahman, every one of us, one sun in the sky, and there are 1,000 reflections or 1,000 pots. If the water is muddy reflection, and little colored reflection. But now, if it is a mirror, among all these reflected media, Avatar's mind is like a mirror. And the sun reflects, shines in its own glory. As like the sun, your eyes will be hit by the reflection of the avatar. No? So avatars are the clearest expression of the absolute. That's why to many people it's a big problem to accept Rama, Krishna, Christ. Who I am also incarnation. He is also incarnation. No. Yes, you are incarnation in a muddy water. There is no purity, no light comes out, nothing of knowledge and wisdom. And here, in Avatara, love, compassion, holiness, purity, it is highest is trying to manifest. So that happens. That is the distinction between we as reflected human being and Avatar when he takes a human body like us. Christ has a human body. Ramakrishna has a human body. Rama had a human body, but they are not like, though they look alike, but through them shines the light of the Atman, the highest degree. You now find why perfect men instinctively are worshipped. Why people worship them? Because as God in every country, they are the most perfect manifestation of the eternal self. That is why men worship incarnation such as Christ or Buddha. Quote ends. Now let me explain that there are two stages of spiritual experience. He is talking of one Savikalpa Samadhi and another is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Then he says, Sri Ramakrishna on page 18, Sri Ramakrishna defines prema as the intense love for God that makes one forget the world and forget even his own body. Ramakrishna said, your love will generate in so much that you will forget the world will go away. Not only that, you will forget yourself also. So that is rise above physical consciousness. Ends. Quote ends. This intense love is a transcendental experience of the inexpressible bliss in which the ego is completely lost. Before I give some illustration from the saints and seers who attain complete union with the Lord, realizing Him to be the self capital, the true being within themselves, let me describe the main characteristic of the divine love. What is the main characteristics of divine love? First, what is the divine love and mundane love? First, a true devotee loves the Lord for love's sake. Don't cure me from my disease. I didn't care to ask God. Then it is not pure love. Why pure? Pure is only giving, no asking. And when you love, bargaining love, we have all love bargaining. You do this much, I do this much. Oh Lord, give me. I am worshipping you. Therefore, give me money. I am worshipping you. Give me name. Give me position. Give me power. So, this is called love with intention. But when it is pure, no return. I love you. As Sri Chaitanya says in our prayer, Aslishava Padaratang Pinastu. You bless me or you snatch me by your feet. You are my beloved. That means you keep me in happiness or keep me in suffering, put me into danger or keep me in danger-free situation. I love you. There is no resort. That is called the one-pointed love, pure love. So first point, a true devotee loves the Lord for love's sake only. There is no bargain or shopkeeping in his love. He does not even seek liberation. I love you only. I don't want liberation even. That's the devotee's attitude. So in spite of himself, he becomes liberated though. But they don't crave for liberation.
Time is up.
It's done. So what can I do? I cannot go to the second point. That's the second point. Another characteristic of love is that he knows no fear. If you love God, you will not be fearful. Oh, God will punish me. He's standing with a rod in hand. I did something wrong. He will punish me into the hell. If you love God, forget. A true lover of God does not mean, he said, you send me to hell and stay with me always. I love you. You be with me. I don't care, heaven or hell. That is the second sign. And third, lastly, love knows no rival. In ordinary love, always jealousy. If someone loves in human love, you know. If someone loves someone, and if third party comes in between even for 2 minutes, you cannot tolerate that. You will be, it's taking away the time. So this is the human love, imperfection. But divine love has no rival. Everyone loves. They will be happy. Oh, he's also loving my beloved Lord. He's also loving she's also loving my beloved
But in
love.
case of
That becomes the supreme love.
divine love also, when you
No,
are loving,
no,
if
no,
just a
no
worldly
time.
object comes, then you feel like that, oh, I don't want to look at worldly object. I want to think about God only.
You can think about God, but that should not make any jealousy in anyone's mind.
Then you are feeling jealous about worldly object. The worldly object
That
should
is-
not come in between us.
If worldly object, then it's okay. But what is worldly? Everything is God's children. There is no worldly for that type of devotee. That type of devotee who is so pure in his life, everything is God's children. There is no world there. World is gone much. There's a ABCD student in the grade school. They have given up those basic knowledge. Anyhow, so here beautiful prayer. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. Every day we pray in the morning, no? Okay, so now he will talk about the lives of some saints, how the saints say like that in their life experience. So my time is up. I cannot continue anymore. So thank you all for joining.
Thank you.
And let me see, there are
There is
maybe...
no online question, but I have a question.
So I can be on the question for some time. Let me see if anything is there.
No, nothing is there. That one is overdue, the last one.
How do we I and God to glance in my direction? Oh, it's only we have to pray. That will do. Only we have to pray and to think of God, and His glance is always there. We are thinking that God will pay attention to me someday. No, the question is how God will pay glance in my direction. Here, don't think that He is looking off from you, but He is looking at me. But my muddy mind is not allowing it to see, because my mind should be clean. So prayer, prayer, prayer. How can I get God to glance in my direction? Right, that's the truth. That is to say, oh Lord, I cannot see you. Please cast a glance upon me. That's why we say in the evening prayer, Bhikshane Mohojai, all delusion go away if he casts his glance. Or another meaning is also there, if I can cast my glance to you. But I am incapable. I am a bhakta. I have no power to see you. You are so glorious. Therefore, O Lord, please have a cast a glance upon me. So that is the prayer. And I think that this prayer is to be continued and continued. Mighty meditators, is it low thought to ask the Lord for help with life here? Oh, yes, yes, no, no, no. We are not in the state of supreme love. We just read about the supreme love. When supreme love comes, you will not be able to ask for anything. You'll forget that. Even you had need, but Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, he went to Mother Kali, and standing before Mother Kali, his heart was so pure, he could not ask for his need of his family and basic need for their food and sustenance. That he forgot. And Ramakrishna is saying, go today, this is a good day, Saturday, and it's a Wednesday, or Tuesday. So you will get everything when you ask for mother. And seeing mother's divine form, Ramakrishna could not pray, Vivekananda could not pray. So it is low thought, no, 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 not for us. We are not Vivekanandas. We will say, where shall we go? Oh Lord, you are my everything. I am in difficulty. That's why asking from God is no problem. We can, and Gita also supports the idea that there are my 4 types of devotees are there. What are the 4 types? Artha, who has fallen in some difficult situation of health and other problems, Artha. Jiggasu, who is questioning, of course he is a devotee. Artharthi, who has fallen in financial crisis and they need some money, some wealth. He is my devotee. And of course, who is a Gyani, knower of truth. He is my devotee. Gyani is also my devotee, no? Bhagavan himself says, Gyani is my devotee. But the devotees will say, hey, Gyanis are not. Hey, don't talk to the Mayavadis. It is not Mayavadi. Maya is those who are Jnanimis who love God and get intoxicated in the Nirakaro aspect. Okay? Acha. So I think that God will bless us. And anything more? Is
I
there?
have the question.
Quick.
The question is that you said like that Thakur used to say like that 3 types of attraction. If it gets together, then. So now the mother and child, that bonding is so strong. So even when mother goes to the deep sleep, she doesn't have any sense of child or anything. So when you, even if you develop that bonding with God, like mother-child kind of intense, still when you go to deep sleep, you don't have it. So
In the deep sleep, when your mind is dead, what is the need? And if you go to God, your mind will be wake up all the time. There is no sleep. In Samadhi, if it goes, there is no sleep. The day and night there is a Divanisi Purna Sosi Anande Biraj Kare Jai Chalo Sei Nagore. Oh mind, let us go to that land where day and night a full moon is lighting there. There is no darkness. There is no sleep. Gumere gum parayachi. I have put sleep to sleep. Sleep does not bother me. Sleep is no more with me. So that sleep. And moreover, you are giving only one example. Only Thakur said, take the intensity of it. Don't bring other issues. Intensity of love. As a mother's love for the baby, just born baby, no? Baby does not know anything. Baby cannot do anything excepting mother. And the feeling of the love which mother carries for the baby. A feeling of the emotional bond which a lover for the beloved, a newly married couple have their love. How deep is that? Intensity. Feel that intensity. They always want to talk to each other, sit together, and as if they talk 2 hours, okay, my God, I have to go to office. It is so bad. No? They feel bad. After talking 2 hours, being all the time, then they think it's nothing. The intensity, take the intensity, this plus that, plus the intense attachment for worldly people, for worldly objects. Do add all this. Then we'll be same. Okay, thank you all. And we'll meet you again probably next 7:30 in our class, in the class for our nectar of supreme knowledge, what is called Yoga Vasishta. We are coming to an end there almost. So we'll meet you again. So let me end with a prayer. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanam Astu.